Absolutely. Well, so at this time, would you say was everybody having fresh kicks? Was everybody having, you know what I mean, they way with it, or was you kind of separating yourself from the pack?
Nah, I think
With
I was separating myself from the pack, but then you also had, the dope game was really coming in the swing then, and some of the guys that really got their foot in the dope game, they start making money, so they able to run out here and go buy this, that, and the other. So now I'm looking at them and I'm seeing some of the stuff they have, and one of my biggest influences on that was a guy around here. His name was Barney Five. That's what we used to call him. But he was like one of the first young cats I seen. He had the patent leather Sky Force. He had the snakeskin Adidas. He had the patent leather Adidas. Everything, all the hot, fresh stuff that was going on at that time. So I'm
absolutely,
looking at him. I'm seeing what he got on, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. That's how I want to do it. So he was one of the ones I started, trying to pattern myself. Like, man, if I could try to
yeah,
get a hold of some of that stuff, that's what I want to do. So
absolutely. And this is around this time we talking what early '80s,
yeah, we talking about I'd say like probably about 84, 85 ish around there.
early to mid '80s, and
Yep.
what So what was the first shoe you got that was like in this point at this time? I'm kind of leading you into like a Jordan 1, obviously dropped in '85. You Jordan 1 dropped in '85, right?
Yep, 85.
Did you get you a pair when they first dropped, or
I got a pair when they first dropped. Went to New York City and went up there actually on spring break, and going up there just to spend some time with my family. And we get there, and my aunt is like, you want to ride with me? We're going to go pick up your cousin from school. So I'm like, all right, so ride with her up to the school, and school letting out. So my cousin come out with one of his friends, and when they come out the door, his friend got the bread ones on his feet.
uh
So
huh?
I'm looking at them, and after that, I was mesmerized. I'm like, oh yeah, I need them. So the only thing I'm telling him the whole time is, cuz, you gotta take me to the spot where they're at. He like, I got you. I'm like, nah, you don't hear me, cuz I need them.
Take
So
me
he like,
now.
I got you. So the next day we get up, and this is in Queens. We go down on the boulevard, and he take me to the spot, and I cop 62.99.
62.99. You
62.99.
Before we got on camera, you was in the other room showing me. You want to show the people?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. Let's show. Let's pull out some heat, man. Yeah, Unc brought a lot of heat today, man. I don't know if y'all really
It's in there. There's
is
one
it in
more
there?
bag in there.
It's
That's the
cool.
bag.
We'll pull it up later. You know what I mean? It's all good. Just know we he got them. You know what I'm saying? They are here, man. Original 1985s. They really in good shape for real. Almost indestructible. The quality back then compared to the quality now is just like you can't even. It don't match up. You know what I mean? So, but you went from So you was traveling around,
Oh
grabbing
yeah,
kicks.
I was traveling around, and that's another part of it. My mom is originally from Queens, so I used to go up there a lot, and I was copping stuff from there. And then my dad has a lot of relatives in Detroit, so I was
Mm.
going up there, and that's where I was getting like snakeskin Adidas, all the patent leather Adidas flavors coming back here. So at the time, shoes used to, be a little bit more regionalized. They would come out in the bigger cities before they come out in Dayton. So, with me having family in them two spots, I was able to, get stuff and then come back to Dayton, and I'd be like the first one with it. So,
Mm.
that's kind of how that started.
Absolutely. And you would back then you was just bringing back stuff for yourself. You wasn't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
thinking to
nah, it
bring back
wasn't,
and
nah, no resale, none of that.
that
It
wasn't
was
even a
just,
part of the game
nah,
yet.
that wasn't even a part of the game. That the game then is cop that shit, rock that shit. That was the
Absolutely.
game then. So
Absolutely. So as you move forward into when did the resale and the whole like not let's not say the resale, but when did you start moving around and I guess becoming what you a collector? Or were you did you always feel like a collector instead of like a cop that shit, rock that shit? When did you start going and grabbing kicks and putting them in the vault and being like, I ain't gonna rock these. I'm gonna keep these for, you know, 10
I
years from now?
I would say that kind of didn't happen until probably about the 90s. I graduated from high school in 87. I went down to Northern Kentucky University. I was down there for 5 years. I graduated from there in 1992. I came back to Dayton. And when I came back to Dayton, there used to be a guy who would come to Dayton and he would get a hotel room for the weekend and he put an ad in the paper that he was buying, shoes, any kind of condition. So, people were seeing this ad in the paper and they was coming to me like, this guy's, buying shoes. He don't care what kind of condition they in. You got all these shoes. Why don't you, bring some shoes down there? I said, okay. So I think I took like 2 or 3 pairs down there. Dude cashed me out for like 1800, which was a ticket back then. All right.
92?
So
Absolutely.
in 92. So we get to talking. He like, are you this guy that keep telling me about that got all these shoes? I'm like, I got a few pairs trying to be coy. So he like, you got the first 5 pair of Jordans? I said, I do. He said, go back and get them. I give you $350 a piece. I don't care what kind of condition they in. I said no, and he said, why not? I said, because if you give me $350 today, what will you give me in 5 or 10 years? He said, you know what? You the first person that said that to me. So he said, if you serious, start getting everything, holding on to it, and that's when the collecting and putting it into the vault started. So that's about 92.
So somebody gave you a little bit of game that they wasn't giving everybody else. And that's how you had the foresight to become a collector.
Then after that, then I started getting stuff and, not wearing it, holding on to it. And, people like, my family, my friends, my girlfriend at the time, what you doing? You buying all these shoes, you ain't wearing them, what the hell? So I'm like, I'm a collector. A collector? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, how people collect stamps, collect cars, collect coins. I'm collecting shoes. They like, what? Oh, that's... Don't nobody do that. That's dumb. That's stupid.
It's
so
unheard of at the time.
So it's unheard of at the time. So I'm like, no, that's what I'm doing. So, I set my mind.